So my name is Sharon Huckle, and I am the owner of the Cat's Meow Salon, Windrose Destinations, and the Unstoppable Stylist. So that is a hair salon, a boutique motel, and a coaching business, all in the downtown core of Belleville. So we have been in business in the downtown district for almost 25 years. We've owned various buildings, but we've evolved and we've grown our businesses over the years. It started out actually with a restaurant first, and then we turned that into my salon, and then we added the spa. The restaurant sort of morphed towards catering because we started having babies, and that grew into a huge food empire of catering, restaurants, an ice cream company, multiple shops, everything. We had that business for 20-some years, but we closed that down in 2019. My business partner and husband and I separated. So we decided to part ways and to end up that particular portion of our business. I carried on with the salon, and then COVID happened, so that was tons of fun. But I muscled down. I got scrappy because being a single mom of two boys now with two businesses shut down, because I had just pivoted from the food business to the accommodations, and so that's where I relied on quite a bit of government funding and loans to push that idea forward faster. Well, Trendval and I have a long history. So Trendval was there to help us through every step of our business growth and evolution. They tend to guide you gently through the hazards of financing for business, because it can be a little bit muddy waters for a lot of people. And I'm the creative type. Math has never been my strong suit, but I do like lists. So as long as I can kind of put the goals down in a list, I always say I have two lists, a to-do list and a ta-da list, because it's good to be able to check things off and look back at what you've accomplished. But they're very clear with that, and they've been super supportive just every step of the way. Like when we were brand new entrepreneurs 20-some years ago to now more seasoned entrepreneurs, I still run into overwhelming situations, and they help break things down, make it simple. They test you, right? Because they're going to ask you questions. They're going to challenge you to think things through. They're going to ask you to do spreadsheets, which if you have a good accountant, he'll do them for you. I don't like spreadsheets. They give me a headache. But yeah, they bring out your strengths, and they help you find people to navigate through your weaknesses. So that's been a good thing, because we all got them. We all got strengths and we all got weaknesses, and it's just knowing who to place around you to help support you through that. So thank you, Trendval. Knowing that I would be busy with both the salon and the motel once the world opened up again. So I had to make haste while the getting was good, and I had that moment to focus. And that's also when I started to build the coaching business as well, because one income is too close to none, as I found out when both my businesses were shut down. So it's better to be a little bit more diversified and not put all your eggs in one basket. I have a pretty good track record, even though, we've been in the weeds a few times, just because business is tough. Running a business is really tough. And that's why I call my other business the Unstoppable Stylist, because I literally feel like I've been a phoenix, rising from the ashes. It was a tough time. And it had already been a really rough 3 years anyway. Just so many bad things happened, and life-threatening things, even with my own children and parents and such. But also business-wise and just personally, really rough time. So then COVID happened, right? So, it was scary. So I went from March 2020 thinking I was going to go bankrupt to, I guess 3 years later now, having a thriving little empire, right? Yeah, well, I often joke that it does take a village to keep me going. So I am not a one-woman show. Do not get me wrong. I have a ton of support, luckily. And that is really what kept me going through COVID, because it was pretty scary. Because there was that moment there where nobody knew what was happening, and nobody knew how long we were going to be shut down. And especially as a self-employed person, we just didn't know how the government was going to be able to step up to help us out, right? You're just being told that you have no way of creating income. So it was scary and stressful. And, I have 2 kids to support, and I have 3 buildings to pay for plus a house. Like it was scary. And I live very frugally, but I mean, the expenses never stopped. So if it weren't for government loans and the grants that were available and such, I would not have been in this position. I've always been an entrepreneur. I'm also very multi-passionate, so that was crucial to the turnaround. It's all about your mindset, right? And definitely having support and coaching and mentoring behind you is instrumental in turning that around quickly. And every day, whether I felt like it or not, I had to get up and put on my happy face and put one foot in front of the other and just make things happen. Sometimes I have a hard time focusing, and sometimes I have a hard time just like simmering down on the ideas. But again, that's where the support network and just having so many amazing mentors and inspirations out there in the world. And sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much, and then other times I'm like, nah, I can handle this. So it's good. And it just all happens incrementally and a bit organically. And sometimes you have to push it, but definitely we're gonna grow. I've got lots of ideas for the salon, where I'm going with that. I've got lots of ideas for the motel and collaborating with the other local businesses around. The motel is going to be a multifunctional space in that it can be a photo studio area and video shooting area. And I plan to have retreats here, so hairdressers and other beauty professionals can come spend a weekend with me and stay in my suites and learn about business. You have to look back at all of the accomplishments and as well as the mistakes you made, and then course correct accordingly. But all of my plans are symbiotic, so I think they'll do really well. We've had lots of impact on the local community. In the 15 years that I was paying attention that our business was open for more than 20, we had donated more than $450,000 to more than 80 local charities. And that did not include the hours we spent at events and time I spent on committees and boards and various things. We were very active in our community. And I love this area, and I feel like it has not even gotten close to reaching its full potential. I felt like that for the last 20 years. Honestly, there's so many amazing things in this area, and beautiful waterfront. There's all the connections to all the smaller, cool, interesting towns. Of course, there's the beaches, the wineries, the restaurants. And then there's a really good local community, and we're all trying to make it better. Of course, every small town has their challenges, and we're no exception. But I think our municipality works really hard at making Belleville a welcoming place and a nice place to live and grow and work. It's been a great place to raise my kids. And I encourage more people to check it out. Like, I have big visions, and I do look out to other people to see what they're doing, and I see other people that have made amazing things happen. So you sort of think, well, why not me? I can do that too. So I've been very blessed in my life. I do have a really good support network, and that makes all the difference. So for people who don't have a good support network, find one, because there's lots out there. You can build that, and you can nurture that, and that's really important. I always have the best job. I get to chit chat and play with his hair all day. Like, it's pretty great. And not everybody has that same thing. And certainly, I've said it time and time again, the salon through all of this has been my salvation, because no matter what, I had to show up, put my happy face on. It's the people that drive me, right? Money is important. I know we need it to survive. It kind of ranks right up there with oxygen, but it's certainly not everything. There needs to be the why behind the money. And luckily I have very satisfying work, and having the motel guests here and welcoming to my area and being really proud of my hometown and the surrounding area and the businesses business owners that I know, is just really gratifying, privileged work. Get good mentorship and support, right? You don't always need all the resources, but you need to be resourceful. And there's actually lots of resources out there if you just tap into them and find somebody who's done what you want to do, and just follow in their footsteps and try not to make the same mistakes they made. And people are actually quite generous. Like, if anybody ever reached out to me, just like I've reached out to other people in the past, most people are pretty generous with their advice if you're a real go-getter. So be unstoppable, right? Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I always say unstoppable energy can feel very different if it's coming from two different places, right? It can feel like you're on the hamster wheel, it's unrelenting, it's you can't stop. Or it can feel like I got this, I can figure it out, I can make things happen. And I try to operate from that creative energy instead of that sort of draining, wounded energy. So, you get there sometimes, but you gotta shift it and move over here. So mindset is very important. Your messaging is very important, right? How you're telling yourself a story and how you're telling the world a story and who you're communicating with. And also your methods, and follow the methods of other successful people, and success leaves clues.